Good Morning Liberty.
Well, what is up, all of our liberty-loving friends? This is another fantastic episode of Good Morning Liberty. My name is Nate Thurston. Across from me is Mr. Charles Chuck Thompson. Maybe he's just Charlie today. He's feeling nice. Nice guy Charlie is
Actually,
here
don't
with
even
us.
like nice.
You don't want to be nice?
Nice is weak.
Chuck. We got Chuck with us today, everyone.
I think kind. Kind is a different form.
Yeah. Before I forget, today's Milton Friedman's birthday. He should have turned 113 years old today.
Is that right?
Yeah, 113. That's
Wow.
what he should have been today. So I posted out a thread of some of my favorite Milton Friedman videos. I haven't really finished it yet. If you've got some video suggestions to add in there, let me know. New guy Josh threw in one that I'm going to add to it later on. Go repost that, comment on it, like it. Thursday is the worst day of the week for interactions on X, at least from our account anyway. So unfortunately, Milton Friedman's birthday was on a Thursday, is on a Thursday this year. And so, yeah, if you want to go like that, comment, repost anything, that would be awesome on Good AM Liberty on X. It's Dumb Bleep of the Week, Part 1, Charlie. We found that we're having a tough time fitting in all the dumbs every Friday. Dumb Bleep of the Week is still our most popular episode. People like it when you number things and count through them and like
Talk
that kind of
about
organization.
dumb stuff.
Dumb things, make fun of people, and then vote on what the dumbest thing is. And so we're going to listen to the market this week. Market says that's the best episode of the week, and I wanted to break them up into a couple episodes. Normally we have like 10. I got 7 in today's. We'll probably have 7 or 8 in tomorrow's also. And then we'll do them. We'll put them together, and we'll see who actually wins Dumb Bleep of the Week. Like we'll bring in today's winner and put it against tomorrow's Part 2 winner, and we'll see which one of those things are actually the dumbest. So let's everyone understand the rules? You guys all got it?
No.
All right. Well, that's fine. That's fine. Me either. Thank you so much to everyone for being here. Let's get going through this stuff. All right. It's going to be easy on the first one because we spent, like half an hour talking about this on yesterday's episode. Therefore, you should go back and listen to the first half of yesterday's episode to get the full picture on this story. But Dumb Bleep number 1 has to do with the Canadian Freedom Convoy truckers. You guys might remember that story from 2022, I believe, is when that happened. Well, you guys know they got in trouble, got bank accounts frozen, stuff like that.
They're prosecuting the two leaders.
Yeah, like two of the main organizers.
And here's where where it goes wrong. The Canadian Crown.
That's the problem.
Yeah, Crown.
The Crown
is asking for probably one of the longest prison sentences that Canada has to offer,
which is
8 years.
I know it sounds, sounds crazy, but they're asking for 8 years. And as we talked about yesterday, there's all sorts of stuff you can do in Canada to violate the rights and the liberties of other people, even violently, that they'll ask for less than 7 or 8 years for. All the way sexual assault of a minor, manslaughter, which it seems like they'll take an actual murder and just prosecute it as manslaughter instead and get you like 5 years for it.
4 to 5 years, yeah.
And so, but
you can kidnap and rape children for probation.
Yeah, they'll give you like 6 months or something, maybe.
And I heard apparently they're supposed to be like the Canadian nice or something like that.
The what?
They're supposed to be like nice.
Oh,
somehow.
yeah, I heard they're nice.
This is why I don't like nice.
Well, the prosecutors are nice. They're to violent criminals. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not so nice to people who protest their government.
Yes.
That's the problem. And as we talked about yesterday, and we read one of New Guy Josh's X posts on here, they're not upset that they were committing mischief, which is apparently a crime, the name of a crime in Canada. What they're really upset about is that people decided to protest tyrannical actions by their own government. A lot of people got involved because a lot of people were upset made the government look bad, brought attention to terrible things the government was doing, and that's like worst possible thing you can do from the standpoint of a government.
So it's to send a message.
Yes.
Is what they're trying to do.
So anyhow, that's what we got right there. Maybe they should organize another convoy to protest the sentencing that they're asking for those people. That's number one. How about number two? We've talked about this one a couple times in the past. We got some new data on it, though. This comes from the New York Post. Remember, California did that new minimum wage, Charlie, especially for fast food workers.
Except for Panera.
I forgot about
Panera was carved out of that.
Mm-hmm. No backroom dealing on that really at all.
Not because the owner of Panera and Gavin Newsom are buddies or anything.
No, that's
which
not
they
it.
are.
But that's not the reason.
But that's not the reason. Yeah, it's because apparently, if you make bread, you can do that for less than the new minimum wage.
Yeah, you're not worth that much money like you are at a fine establishment like McDonald's.
Because it's bread, which is like one of the oldest.
That's not fast food. Bread takes a long time to make.
A lot of times overnight, you got to let that thing sit.
It's like by definition, it's not fast food. It's slow food.
Yeah.
So that's what that has to do with. Okay, so from the New York Post, California's $20 minimum wage hike so far has cost the state 18,000 jobs, a study finds. Who did this study? Well, that's the National Bureau of Economic Research did this study. A new study published by NBER this month found that California's 2023 minimum wage hike cost the state thousands of jobs. Researchers found that the state's $20 minimum wage fast food hike has cost the fast food sector 18,000 jobs since it went into effect in April of 2024. It hasn't been in effect really for that long, and they're saying it's already cost 18,000 jobs, representing a 3.2% decline in that sector compared to fast food sectors in other parts of the country. Quote, our median estimate translates into a loss of 18,000 jobs in California's fast food. We know that. A person from NBER. There we go. Additionally, the bill signed into law by California Gavin Newsom the following April established a new minimum wage for fast food workers, which was previously $16 an hour. The hourly minimum wage is $20, and then they also, what did they do? They established some kind of a like fast food workers council or whatever. I can't remember what they called it, where they're going to get together and decide what those wages should be. So that's awesome.
I mean, they're so much so they're even driving the CEO of In-N-Out Burger to Nashville.
I saw that.
So
yeah, I got to get out of there.
It's interesting. I see they almost got that In-N-Out Burger up by the Tanger outlets close to your house.
Do they?
Down
Really?
there. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Building that In-N-Out right there.
How about that? So we don't.
Which, by the way, is it's just a burger joint.
Yeah,
it's not that. It's not.
They just
that
have burgers.
Great.
Yeah. So the main point of this dumb, like, why is this a dumb bleep of the week? Well, it's because this is obvious. There's plenty of data to back up that this was going to happen. We've known through several other examples throughout the past, this is what's going to happen. Common sense would tell you that this is what's going to happen. Basic economic literacy would tell you that this would happen. And as we all know, the real minimum wage is always zero. And if you're not worth whatever they are mandating the company to pay you, they will just get rid of you. They'll replace you with a kiosk. They'll replace you with a new automated burger flipping machine.
Robotics.
Any kind of robotics come in there.
AI.
And so you can't force businesses to pay people more than what they're worth. They're going to do the math. They're going to look at it. On top of that, they got to pay taxes. On top of that, they got to pay half of that FICA tax and everything. And so there's other expenses associated with having employees, and they're just going to get rid of you. It's common sense. All right. And unfortunately, the people in California, the people who need fast food, minimum wage jobs, are going to get what they voted for or what other people voted for.
Let them have it.
Yeah.
I say good.
I do sometimes feel bad for the people who didn't vote for this or who don't support things like this, but our best recommendation there is move. You're going to have to leave.
A lot of people are already doing that.
Some people don't like when you say that. They're like, no, you got to stay and fight. You're never going to change it if you don't stay there and fight to change these things. And my response to that is California's gone. All right. It's just done. It's too late.
But also
See ya.
walking away is part. That's a tactic in a fight.
That's a vote.
It is.
It is. That is a vote.
All right, number 3.
Number 3. So, some backstory on this. I don't know if you remember the election cycle, 2024, and it turned out that Democrats have a problem outreaching to men in general, especially like white men or whatever. But these like alpha male types, they don't want to be Democrats, little wimpy Democrats, So Democrats had a tough time reaching out to those kind of people.
Little minion Democrats.
They tried to with like white dudes for Harris or whatever, and
which was totally gay.
It was like the gayest thing
that's why
that they could do, and it just didn't work. The influencers they picked were just terrible. And Eric Swalwell has an idea, and what he's going to do is show how tough he is while talking about policy at the same time. Now, he's super tough, and this is definitely going to relate to a lot of people who go to the gym and work out, because he's talking about policy, about talking bad about Republicans while pumping iron right now. From what I can tell, he's pumping a total of about 135 pounds while he's bench pressing that. I don't know, Charlie, you work out sometimes. You used to work out anyway. Is that a lot? Is that much weight? I can't do that 135 pounds myself.
Not for benching.
Yeah. I don't know what.
But it depends on where you're at. I really don't like to shame anyone who wants to work out.
No, I'm not shaming him. You know what I'm shaming him for? Is that he thinks that getting down there and doing this and recording this video is gonna bring their message to the people, that the guy who just couldn't vote for a Democrat.
It's like you can be gay and work out too.
Yeah. The guy who just voted for a Republican because he's big and strong is going to see this video and be like, oh, wow, yeah, okay, so Democrats are tough too. I get it. Yeah. That's why they're making this kind of video. I can't do it. I'm not shaming him. I can't do the 135 pounds because both of my shoulders are torn. So I just can't. But
yeah,
anyhow,
and to be fair, I think it says 45 on there. Yeah, so that would be 135 pounds. Because those look like steel plates. Sometimes they're measured in kilograms, but that looks to say 45. If it was in kilograms, it would be less.
I'm just getting it from the comments and the repost. They all say 135.
Yeah.
So but that's fine. Let's hear what he has to say, though. Let's judge him by the content of the video, too.
I should be working right now. I should be at the Capitol. I should be in a suit. Instead, Republicans sent us home because they would rather stand up for Donald Trump than release the Epstein files and stand up for victims. We could be at Washington, D.C., lowering your healthcare costs, lowering your grocery costs, and restoring your rights. I should be working right now. Instead, I'm pumping iron at the gym.
All right. I should be at work right now, but instead I'm pumping iron at the gym. He should be in Congress right now, working to lower your healthcare costs and working to lower your grocery bills and working to restore your rights. But instead, here he is pumping iron. And I think it's going to work. I think we should do more of this kind of stuff in Congress.
Yeah.
Have at it. That's number 3.
That's great.
It's good stuff.
By the way, you could clearly see the weight on those plates there. Mm-hmm. It was just 45 pounds.
Yeah.
20.4 kilograms per plate in the bars. Although that looks like it might be a girl bar, so maybe it's only maybe that bar.
Is there a girl bar?
There's a girl bar. Yeah,
really?
It's only 35 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And which is weird because you think it would all just be the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be equal.
No, there's a girl bar. It's 35 pounds, and there's a guy bar. It's 45 pounds.
Huh.
Those are your standard weights.
I'm finding this out right now.
Yeah.
I did not know there was a girl bar.
There is a bar, a bar for women.
How about that?
So
girls only bar. Okay. Let's go to the next. That's number 3. How about number 4? So do a little bit of economics here. I like economics. That's fun to do. Number 4 is a response to a post about Elon Musk. It says Elon Musk is now officially worth $405.6 billion.
Love that money.
Ow. projected to become the world's first trillionaire by 2027. I don't know who's making those projections like that. That sounds like whoever made that projection should put their entire life's worth into Tesla and SpaceX or whatever. Like if they think he's going to be worth $1 trillion, that's going to be how. But whatever.
By 2027.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
It's a year.
Pretty quick for that. We should go buy some Tesla stock right now. Anyhow, $405.6 billion. The response from Trash Jones says, I think we should stop saying billionaire and just start saying money hoarder. So he's hoarding.
He's hoarding.
Hoarding for $405.6 billion. Then she responds to some comments and says, it's his money, quote, it's his money. If you don't think it's weird, this guy would rather hang on to $405 billion than give away some of that wealth to help people not starve and be homeless. I genuinely don't understand you.
Well, that's what he is doing.
Yeah.
By the way.
He is helping people by producing productive
In fact, I think I saw
things.
a post from him this morning that said the answer to starvation and homelessness is robotics and AI.
Did he? Is that you sure?
I'm pretty sure he said that on his page. I don't know if it was
couldn't
this
tell
morning.
if you were joking or not. Right.
No, it was real.
Okay.
And so that's exactly what he's working on. It's like people think the only way to help other people is just to give them things.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, most people in need of help don't even want that. They don't. If you go around, if you travel at all, and these white liberal, I don't have anything nice to say. My mother
Trash.
said
Her name is Trash.
her name is Trash. You're right. This
White trash liberal.
white liberal trash folks, okay, that don't actually go and talk to people. If you travel around to, let's say, third world countries, the people don't want handouts. They want opportunity. They want to be able to pursue something meaningful. What gives people opportunity? Maybe the internet.
That could be.
How about that? Where you've never had it before. Oh, look, Starlink's available now in the desert of Africa's. And that gives people opportunity, something to pursue, something meaningful, a purpose, something they can go and do that will.
I was just giving you snaps,
Yeah,
Just
something that
what
they
you're
can
doing
go and do that is going to help provide for their family and make it better off for their children and things of that nature. So he is using the wealth. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah. And like providing that opportunity for people, like that comes in the form of jobs that they could take to actually live a more meaningful life. Like I've always thought if I wasn't doing this, whatever, I think it'd be cool to go work for SpaceX or something. I don't know. It's not like I'm going to go do rocket science or whatever, but every job there is important. So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That'd be a meaningful job, or for Starlink or whatever.
They have a media team.
Yeah. Could go do that kind of thing.
Could be the face of Starlink with that
They just
girl.
put my picture on the box,
No, you would call the launches.
Oh, okay.
You'd replace the guy that's currently on there. It'd be you and the girl.
The other part of this, and if you've been listening for a long time, you're probably sick of both the points that both of us are making right now. But the other part of this is he doesn't have $405 billion. I say this every single time, and I'm going to stress it every single time until each and every one of you guys who's listening right now finds posts like this on X or Facebook or Instagram or whatever and responds with what the actual truth is. We don't even have to fight about what he should do with that $405.6 billion because he doesn't have the $405.6 billion. It's not sitting in his bank account. All it is a representation of his ownership of the companies that he has created or helped create, that he owns a certain percentage of. And the stock market, people trading, people investing for their own retirement, people trying to grow their own wealth, put money into those, and they have an auction all day, every weekday, to try and determine what they believe one little slip of paper for that company should be worth. And
they don't have the auctioneer guy.
No, they don't.
Live,
it's they're just doing it with each other all day. The bid and the bid, not like that. The bid and the ask, they're just going all day, and they decide what one share of one of these companies should be worth. And he has a whole bunch of them because he owns a certain percentage of that company. And so those people that are investing for their own retirement, they decide what that company should be worth, which then determines what his net worth is. I would guess safely that 80% of his net worth is just stock ownership in companies. It's probably 90%.
Yeah.
I'm saying safely that 80% of it, but it's probably 90%. It's probably more likely 95% because he's not a guy who has a bunch of big houses and yachts and jets and stuff like that. So most of it's ownership of his companies.
He buys like Twitter for fun.
Yeah, that's his thing. Like that's the thing that he owns.
He's like, well, I could have got a new Lamborghini, but I spent $44 billion on Twitter.
Yeah.
So.
And just to showcase, like, kind of, I don't want to use the word fake. Maybe it's Fugazi's a nice word for this, but like
fairy dust.
When they did the XAI deal, and they just basically decided it was worth this much money. His wealth jumped up like $50 billion because like one of his own companies bought another one of his own companies for a certain amount of money. They deemed it to be valuable. It's worth this much money.
Well,
so they're going to pay for it.
They still have private. Even if you're a private company, they still have people assign a valuation.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, it's an independent evaluation.
And so, but the interesting thing is, before the deal was made, they might have said it was worth $20 billion, something like that. And so he owns a large percentage of that. Well, then they do this deal where they buy it, and they're like, it's worth $100 billion. That's what it is. Well, his wealth jumps up like $70, $80 billion immediately. What happened? A guy or a team of people said, we think it's worth this much. And then his wealth just jumped up. Mm-hmm. Does that mean he has that money to give to the homeless, to people that are starving or whatever? No, he doesn't. So I like this Geiger Capital post down here. Friendly reminder that a large percentage of the electorate is financially illiterate and thinks billionaires like Elon Musk actually have hundreds of billions of dollars sitting in a bank vault like a cartoon. And that is a good thing to keep in mind. That
like a cartoon.
Yeah. It's just something that I don't want to say that they're financially illiterate. I think most people would understand things like this if you could sit down and talk to them for, say, 5 minutes. No. They would get it.
I don't think so.
But most people don't think about it. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking, T-Dub, like Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah. I'm sure that's what Geiger Capital was saying, too. Okay, then we get to the AR-15 assault rifles ban. This is, of course, sparred because of the shooting that happened in New York earlier in the week.
That was done with an AR?
And so, yeah, an assault rifle. Assault rifle 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it stands for. Anyhow, we've got Zohran Mamdani, who, by the way, I don't know if you saw the comment on X. Someone, I want to see if I can find it real quick. Someone found this video, tagged us in it, and called them Zelda Muhammad.
Nice.
In it.
Nice.
So shout out to that person. I was going to put up on the screen. I'll see if I can find it. Let's play this video from Zelda Muhammad, and then we'll play something else after that.
And as New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and Americans across the country
on the left side
mourn this mass shooting, we are reminded that no matter how strong our gun laws are in this state, we are only as safe as the weakest laws in this nation. And so in this moment, the onus is on all of us to follow the words of Alan's brother and to put forward a vision of stronger gun laws. And I echo the call from Governor Hochul for a nationwide ban on assault rifles.
All right.
Our strong gun laws are not working. What we need is stronger gun laws.
That's the problem. He said we're only as strong as our weakest laws. That is one of the most totalitarian ass things I've ever heard. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not we're only as strong as our weakest link. We're only as safe as our weakest laws.
Yeah.
That's what it actually is. Man, I'm glad he is not eligible to be able to run for president, but he is going to inspire a lot of stupid people to continue saying stupid stuff like this. We've got more things. Andrew Yang, he threw his hat into the ring, and he said, it's too easy to get an automatic rifle in America. Just had to point out, which I'm glad Community Notes jumped on this ASAP, so that's good. It said automatic rifles are heavily regulated by the NFA from 1934 and FOPA 1986, requiring an ATF background check, fingerprinting, $200 tax stamp, and a 6 to 12 month approval. New ones have been banned since 1986, limited to costly pre-1986 models, which can cost from $10,000 to $40,000.
Now
and then state laws add restrictions.
let me throw in a wrench.
Okay.
Like a monkey. Monkey with a
That's
wrench
fine.
here.
That's fine.
Is this an argument that bans actually work? Because is this an argument that bans actually work, essentially, or extremely heavy regulation works? Because you don't really see shootings with automatic
Don't see a lot of them. No.
automatic rifles or pistols or anything like that. So
I think for the most part, if you ban something for a long time, it'll be a very light amount of those things will be available. I think a lot of people just don't see the immediate need to go get the automatic versus a semi-automatic. Like, it could be fun, it'd be expensive as hell to do it. So I think you just see way more semi-auto shootings because it's cheaper, way more common, easier to find.
and it's on the open market.
So like the extra work that you would need to do to go get that automatic, if you're someone who's like a mass shooter, killer, wanting to go do something like that, probably not worth the extra effort or the extra risk to go and find those. I'm sure there are plenty of people who have them, and I'm sure there are plenty of ways that you can get those on the black market. They're probably just not common enough that and not important enough in that scenario, I guess, for people to find. I mean, you can ban things and greatly decrease the amount of them that are available, but they're still going to be out there.
I just want to throw out there, just
that's
have
fine.
a nuanced conversation.
We should do that. So you want to ban guns?
No, that's not what I want to do. Nope.
I did find the post here from, let me see, Wyatt Usurp. Yeah. Equity and Liberty, come and take him, Zelda Muhammad. Hashtag dumb bleep of the week. And so that's on Zelda Muhammad's video there. Found that Representative Dan Goldman is responding to Vivek Ramaswamy. I don't know if Vivek's post is important here, but Vivek said another brave police officer murdered in cold blood in New York tonight. This isn't just a tragedy, it's the cost of weak leadership and anti-cop policies. No more coddling criminals, no more defund the police, time to crush the spread of crime and make American cities safe again. To be fair, Vivek's post seems to not have anything to do with the situation either, like kind of immediately saying that this was weak leadership, anti-cop policies, and the coddling of criminals. I don't know if this guy had a criminal history and been let back out on the street or anything. It seems like maybe posting before you have any of the information is a bad idea there. But anyhow, Representative Dan Goldman went up to him with dumb and said he drove from Las Vegas to New York with an AR-15, which cannot be purchased in New York. He walked into an office building and started spraying the lobby with that AR-15, killing the police officer whose handgun was no match for the AR-15. And that, I'm trying to imagine what that means. He killed the police officer whose handgun was no match for the AR-15. And in that, I'm imagining, like, what do you think? Do you think the guns get into a battle with each other? Like you have to try and shoot the other guy's bullets out of the air or something? And so, like, the handgun was just no match for that AR-15. Like, what does that mean? Those aren't what are matched with each other.
Plenty of people who have been taken down by a handgun.
Yeah. It's still a gun. It's semi-automatic.
Versus an AR-15.
Can't shoot it as fast, but whatever. This is about Republicans persistently blocking common sense gun safety reform, including an assault weapons ban that a supermajority of Americans support. I don't know if a super majority of Americans support an assault weapons ban. I'd have to look into that. We'll see. All right, let's move. That was number 5. Let's move on to number 6. Now I've got this is actually just a warm up for number 6. It's not the full number 6, but I did have to point out just how awkward it was for the FBI that this whole Epstein thing had to be happening at the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. You know, it's one of those days that the government has to recognize, I guess. And so the FBI posted out, this World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, the FBI joins our partners throughout the world in reaffirming our commitment to combating human trafficking, supporting victims, and bringing perpetrators to justice.
Except for
Whoops.
the main one.
So, you know, that's awkward. That's unfortunate for them that day happened right now. You know, they probably wish they didn't have to post something like that.
Was this a scheduled post from like a year ago?
The problem is, like, if they didn't post it, then people could say, oh, FBI, why didn't you post something on World
Sex Trafficking
Anti-Trafficking Day or whatever? That says something, huh? But then when you post it, of course, it gave people the opportunity to just drag them in the comments, which I was there for sure. But that was just like an intro to this Mike Johnson thing. Thomas Massey did an interesting tweet thread yesterday off of a Mike Johnson video where Mike Johnson's been going around trying to tell everyone that, well, you don't want to vote for Thomas Massey's discharge petition on the Epstein files because, well, it doesn't actually get the job done and it's bad for victims and blah, blah, blah. And Massey just did a good job disproving like everything that Johnson said, essentially showing that Johnson is lying, probably knowingly lying about all of these things in this video. So here's the clip of Johnson on Meet the Press.
The Massey and the Kana discharge petition does not have adequate protections. For example, in the way that it was drafted, they cite that they don't want child abuse, sex abuse information uncovered, but they cite the wrong provision of the federal code, and so it makes it unworkable. It requires the DOJ to release grand jury testimony. They are prohibited by law from doing so. So it is not the right approach. There is another approach out there. The House Republicans on the Rules Committee have a resolution that is well drafted, that is thoughtfully drafted by lawyers that would make this workable. That's the approach. We have to protect the innocent. We'll do it at all cost.
They do say that they want victims' names redacted, though, just to be clear. Let me move on to Ghislaine.
She did a good job responding. Now, the one that he's talking about, the resolution.
Also, he said something interesting at the end there. He said we want the innocent to be...
Charlie's going down. Oh my God. We're losing him. I'm going to try and guess what Charlie, are you okay?
Started choking.
Well, you're talking,
I don't know why.
We're talking about a big situation here. I know. Get you choked
liar.
up.
He said they want the innocent to be protected, and we'll do that at all cost. Innocent, like Donald Trump is innocent.
Yeah, and so
is that part of it?
The resolution that he's talking about, well, here's what they should do. First off, is non-binding. It's a resolution, but it's like, you don't really have to do anything, first off. And then it tells them that they should release credible information. So then they get to deem what they think is credible and what's not credible, and that they should protect the innocent. Well, that could mean people whose names are in there who are in fact innocent, that they get to determine before they can actually release any of the information, stuff like that. Thomas Massey did a little thread on this, and we'll look through a little bit of it. He says the claim from Johnson, the Massey and Kana discharge petition does not have adequate protections. He shows the part of his discharge petition that says the Attorney General may withhold or redact the segregable portions of records that contain personally identifiable information of victims. Or victims' personal and medical files and similar files. And so it does have victims' protections. He says that in the way it was drafted, they cite they don't want CSAM uncovered, that's child sexual abuse material uncovered, but they cite the wrong provision. And he says false. The bill correctly identifies the primary controlling federal statutes governing CSAM. He said the bill requires the DOJ to release grand jury testimony. They're prohibited by law from doing so. He says false. The bill does not require DOJ to release grand jury testimony, nor does it attempt to override federal rule of criminal procedure. And he says Mike Johnson purports he will protect the innocent at all costs. And he says Mike Johnson sent Congress home early to avoid a vote in the House to release the files. And there's some other stuff in there really about the resolution that Mike Johnson cites being non-binding. It's just like a virtue signal resolution and they can get to it when they want. And it's just, you got to ask the question, like, why do they just really, really not want to release this stuff? I feel like Trump has done a good job letting everyone know that anything in there about him is a hoax. And so let's just get it out there.
Might even be perpetrated by Democrats themselves.
Yeah, perpetrated by Democrats. It is weird that wasn't the first thing they went with. The first thing you remember that first press conference that he got asked about it? And he was like, Epstein?
You want to talk about this guy?
About Epstein?
This creep?
Really? That's what you want to talk about? You're still talking about playoffs? Like that? This is ridiculous. And he wasn't like, well, what we found was that the Democrats have perpetrated this massive hoax and they added a bunch of stuff in there and the files are fake. And no, they came up with that like a week later after they saw that their initial response wasn't working. So I do think you have to lean on their first response, their first natural response, which is that we just need to move past this and not talk about it. Seems weird they wanted to move past it and not talk about it when the Democrats had added a bunch of stuff illegally into the files and perpetrated a gigantic hoax. You think they want to talk about that immediately?
Yeah.
Wouldn't they?
Yeah. Tulsi Gabbard would be releasing the...
No, their first thing they wanted to do was, I guess, cover for Democrats who had just done this illegal conspiracy to add a bunch of names to the files, and they wanted to help their friends in the Democrat Party not get in trouble for doing that. I guess was their first reaction.
Yeah.
Or they made up that part the next week. I don't know.
You decide.
You guys decide. And while we're making fun of Trump, let's get to Dumb Bleep number 7 so we can get on out of here. This is a new one from today where Donald Trump says,
wow, Canada just announced that it is backing statehood for Palestine. That will make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them. Oh, Canada.
So what we find out here is that our trade with our neighbors to the north, which should be a very close ally and is a very big trading partner for the United States. They're right up there,
Especially when it comes to lumber.
That our trade and the prices that we have to pay for our goods and services that we may or may not want to get from Canada will now be determined by whether or not Canada, a foreign nation, recognizes the statehood of Palestine, another potential foreign nation, which is against the wishes of Israel, another foreign nation. And so our cost of goods and our ability to trade freely with one another will now be determined by us wanting to protect a foreign country from another foreign country recognizing the statehood of another foreign country.
That makes total sense.
And that's how we should do trade.
Yep.
Right there.
Total sense right there.
It's ridiculous. Should have nothing to do with your trade policies.
And then the folks who say that Israel has no control.
Yeah, someone made a phone call on that one.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird. Okay, well, that's what we got for Dumb Bleep Part 1. Part Tomorrow's part duh. Okay, so let's get the votes in. What do we got here? Let me get to the list. Let me find that. Nope, that's Dumb Bleep of the Year. Where the heck? Why can't I find? Oh, there it is.
Right below that.
There it is.
Yeah,
I found it. Number 1, Freedom Convoy sentencing. Number 2, California minimum wage. Number 3, Eric Swalwell. Number 4, wealth hoarding. Number 5, assault weapons ban. Number 6, Mike Johnson. Number 7, I called tariffs to prevent a Palestinian state. And there we go.
In fact, I think Trump should probably declare an emergency.
It is an emergency
for these
from
tariffs.
what I could tell.
All right, y'all. Well, while you're getting your votes in, you need to go to joingml.com, be part of the Fed Haters Club. That's where you can vote on Dumb Bleep of the Week. Looks to be part 1. And then tomorrow you can vote on part 2 and then decide which one between 1 and 2 is the ultimate winner for the week. which will lead us to Dumb Bleep of the year. And that's a fun thing to do.
We're getting there. It's July right now. We're on the
last day of July.
Last day of July at the moment.
School starts next week.
This is confusing. This is supposed to be part 1 and 2, but part 1's in July and part 2's in August. How are we going to reconcile that problem? Because if I would have just
We'll have to move month-end closing to August 4th.
If I would have... That's when our fiscal month begins.
Yes.
It's on August 4th.
Yeah.
If I would have just
We
done
go
it,
by the moon cycles, all right? Every 28 days.
if I would have done it normal, this would have counted for August because tomorrow is August 1st and we would have done the whole thing for August. But I feel like it should count for July myself.
I do too.
So that's we'll have to vote on that, I guess.
We'll have to see what happens. So get your votes in.
We got a winner.
We got a winner already. It's the Assault Weapons Ban by Zelda Muhammad. Out there calling for, it's not that.
He wants an assault rifle ban, by the way, because someone used an assault rifle 15 in New York.
Yeah. He's basically making the claim that you're only as good as your weakest link. You're only as good as your weakest laws. What we need are laws so stringent that every step you take is covered by strong laws.
That you're only as strong as your weakest laws. Ugh.
Yeah.
That's worse than I thought when I first heard the video. Oh, what an awful, stupid thing to say.
It's so
dumb.
It's so insane, too, that people think that like your government can protect you against bad actors. You know, we just covered a knife stabbing.
Yeah.
You know, not that long ago.
11 people got stabbed.
A few days ago, 11 people. So, like, let's say you take away all the guns. Okay. Now, what about knives? They're dealing with that in Britain, by the way. They're trying to reform their assault knives.
They're trying to blunt the end of their knives.
You know? No one needs to be able to stab anything. You know? Pretty soon you won't be able to have forks. They'll just all be
You can
spoons.
stab with those.
Yeah.
You could go to, look at prisons. You could fashion anything into some kind of shank, I mean, from what I've seen in the movies, you got to stab someone like 35 times to really make it matter. But
we should make shanks illegal.
got to outlaw
there you
shanks.
go. All right, do all those things I said to do. Go to GodHatesFeds.com, pick up some merchandise, or click that button, Join GML, or visit joingml.com. Leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Visit the links in the show notes to support the sponsors that support this show. If you do all of that, we'll be back again tomorrow for Dumb Bleep of the Week, Part 2. And until then, I hope you have a good day and a good morning, Liberty.